getting back to education, that needs to be, and I think one of the things that was wonderful with you teaching us.
Yes.
I mean, you probably remember the individuals in that class, and there was a tricky individual who was quite violent. There were individuals who were extremely smart, and I wasn't one of those, but there were other individuals who were extremely academically weak. And you valued, and I think everybody in that class would agree, that you valued each of us and our uniqueness. And we were all equal in your eyes, because what is it that we're valuing? Well, the education system nowadays is valuing academic achievement, but there are people who, you know, because of their genetic makeup, are not going to be academically bright. How do we value those? How do we value the difficult people, the tricky people? How do we value the violent people? Because although the answer might be to send them off to a different school, put them away somewhere, actually, we need to value those people, because as human beings, they have a unique human value that is equal to everybody else's. And what is wrong with the education system is that it's looking for, like everything else in society, they're looking for statistics to publish at the end of the month, the end of the term, the end of the year, rather than asking, how is this human soul being formed, shaped, and molded in this school, in this class, by this teacher and by their peers? And of course, the answer to that comes from the definition of the word education. Education. Which means to guide, to teach, to draw out, to shape, to mold. Not to fill with things that you need to pass your tests for the department. I don't know what the tests are called now, but the Micra T and the Sigma T, the Drumcondra tests, where we were all being basically classed against one another, rather than classed for our uniqueness and what we have to give.
Yeah, as I heard recently on one clip by a friend on YouTube, how do you standardize unique? You know,
can't.
These standardized tests.
But that's even the phrase standardized testing.
Yes,
makes me sick.
I know,
because there is no standardized child. So we've got a 19, nearly 20-month-old son. He's as wild as I was as a young child. He hasn't been taught that. It's in him. And, you know, we put him alongside a child who was born the same week as him, that we know, who sits there and is mellow and accepting, whereas Marcus is running around everywhere, breaking his mother's heart, all of the rest.
Yes, I know.
How do you standardize that? You can't. You can't standardize and actually try. And this is where this sense of loss amongst teenagers and young adults is coming from, because they have been brought up feeling inadequate, because they're expected to be standardized and equate to the norms that are expected by the system. Sure. And they end up hitting a brick wall at some point. And that's why we're now in a generation where counsellors and of course consultants such as yourself, but thankfully in your case, Teresa, are busier than ever.
Absolutely.